The definition of my success needed to change because the seasons in my life have changed. My identity has now become more so I'm this husband or businessman to I'm a father. So there's a cliche definition of success that everyone's presented when you're younger. People are taught to think of success in a form of financial freedom. You have the cliche gym bro body. You have the hot wife. You're a successful businessman. That's the idealistic magazine cookie cutter success. That identity gets pushed on you right from the age of 12, 13 years old. When you're younger, you're kind of a dreamer. You go, yeah, you know what? I want to be an athlete, or I want to be a singer or an actor. A lot of kids will kind of focus on like the gloating careers, the ones that are kind of shining up high that you're constantly exposed to. That's your definition of success at that time. As you start to get a little bit older, you're going to your teenage years, you start to think more in a form of career. I want a good job, I want a professional job, I want to be a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, dentist, whatever it may be. Why do you want that? If you're asked that in your teenage years, like, oh, because they make a lot of money. Then you also get the validation from your peers of like, oh, they're a doctor and they must be making a lot of money. And as you start to go into, your early 20s, success gets to be defined more as, well, I've been a student for so long, I don't have the financial freedom. Now I want more money, because then I'll have the financial freedom and that'll be success to me. A lot of people will be stuck right there because they'll constantly have this chase of I need to be making more money, I need to be making more money. Either you're stuck in this perpetual cycle the rest of your life, or the lucky ones that do work hard end up gaining the financial freedom. Eventually, once you do have the financial freedom and you start to realize, okay, well, it isn't all about money. It's not all about just the financial freedom. What is the purpose that you're gonna chase? I came to this stage at the end of my 20s, early 30s, where I start to realize like, okay, well, worked hard, have a bit of money, feel financially secure. What is it that I crave? What is the deeper inner desire for me for the rest of my life? Like, who do I want to be? Am I just gonna be this guy that just makes money? That's not really the purpose that you're looking for. So the purpose at that point, I had to sit back and really assess my life and say, okay, if I want to be happy when I'm 40, 50, 60, and if I could do anything I want to do, what is it that will feed that happiness? When I was in my early 30s, I randomly also got into keeping a lot of plants around the house. This is coincidentally around the COVID lockdowns, so we were kind of trapped in the house, and I got into keeping all these plants, and you don't realize the things that you're subconsciously doing and what they mean, but the whole intention of keeping all of those plants and wanting to kind of take care of them and grow them was a deeper purpose of nurture calling. And this desire to say, okay, well, you know what? I feel like I've done what I've wanted to do. I want to be able to give. The best form of giving is to have unconditional love. And my wife and I, we decided, you know what, I think it's time that we have kids. The nurture calling of me casually taking care of those plants was the desire to have a family. At that point, it's day in, day out. And once you're 30, you realize like, okay, I'm going to work, I'm going to come home and we're going to hang out for a couple hours and then we're going to go to bed and we're going to go repeat that. And it just becomes really repetitive, and you start to kind of miss the novelty or the purpose of life, because you're like, well, there has to be more than this. My life drastically changed the moment I laid my eyes on our newborn child. The desire for chasing financial freedom and constantly winning and wanting more, to do more, build more, all of a sudden quieted to I want peace. I need more time to allocate towards my family. I want to spend time with my child. This is an opportunity for me to have this blank slate and this little human being that we brought into this world to teach him all my life lessons and everything that I've learned, and to kind of program him to be the best version of himself. And that's the nurture aspect of it. The desire for that has taken me away from the noise of the world, the constant craving for external validation, the constant financial insecurity. Things become more clear. The blurred vision of what your future will look like has become more defined. The concept of your mortality becomes very, very clear. As you start to look at your life in the number of years that you have left as opposed to the number of years that you have lapsed. Just a couple of nights ago, I was laying in bed and I was like, wow, I'm 35 years old and our child's a few months, and when I'm 50, he'll be 15. When I'm 60, he'll be 25. It's like, who do I want to be at me being 60 and him being 25? Do I just want to be the dad that's constantly fixated on work and worried about finances, or do I want to be the present father to say, hey, we've lived this 25 years together and I feel like I've given you and equipped you with the tools to go face the world on your own. The noise that exists on the outside, I've learned to keep it on the outside. I don't internalize it. The fight has become more about trying to be as present as possible as a parent, regardless of what's going on externally. Like, of course, there's still business stress. There's, still ailment. My client that's closing on a house doesn't care, but I don't internalize any of that. It's my ability to say, okay, you know what? That's important. And that's a part of my life, but it is not my life. And any moment that I get to spend with our child has become the fight to be more present in that time. For those who have kids, I don't know about you, but it's completely turned my world upside down. The quiet evenings that used to be between my spouse and I are now filled with chaos. We're doing bath time, we're doing dinner time, and there's food everywhere. We're used to keeping our home very clean, and all of a sudden it feels more chaotic. But at the same time, there's bliss in that chaos that I experience. It's the little smile that he cracks when he likes the food that he's eating, or the splashes in the bathtub that he's doing. For those who don't have kids and would eventually like to have kids at one point, bear in mind, if you lack the motivation right now to build your life, build your business, build it for them. Build it for your future children, build it for your future family. When that moment does arrive, you don't want to be on your heels and constantly trying to chase to build your business, be a viable provider for your kid. Those needs will eventually take you away from your child, being present for your child. The best meaning that I can give you to be a father is to put all of your needs aside so that you can be the best version of the person that child needs. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you're just a father, you're a parent, right? Mom's not around, you have to be the mom. You also are the dad, but at the end of the day, this little thing is looking up to you to be taken care of, to be nurtured. So let's wrap it up. Success. What did it used to look like? It meant financial freedom. It meant going out and partying and fancy vacations and fancy cars. Whereas ever since I've become a parent, success now means peace. For me to be able to have slow mornings, for me to be present during bath time, for me to be able to feed him, for me to be able to play with him. All of those things require time. And if my time was constantly allocated to being the superhero provider, I wouldn't be able to afford the luxury of being present and being at peace while I am with him. If you want to be successful, you should take inventory of your definition of success and what that means to you.